unexpected story. 5 months after villagers in the eastern region town of Hill Haji built their own clinic, the Ghana Health Service is yet to post a health worker to the facility. The community had been experiencing several deaths due to delays in reaching health center. Through their own contributions, they put up a CHIPS compound, but the structure is empty as the Ghana Health Service battles a shortage in the number of nurses. Our health affairs correspondent, Justice Baidu, traveled to the community to find out more.
Hill Haji is an example of a typical neglected Ghanaian village. Tucked away on the Afram River, this is home to about 800 people. No electricity, no potable water, and until recently, without a clinic. Life is basic here.
Crossing up and down. Sometimes, if somebody is sick, before you reach hospital, then he dies.
Efo Thomas Tojo is the chief here and is the one leading them to take things into their own hands, building a clinic for themselves.
We make it, if you get everybody, everybody 5 cities each to put that inside your envelope. They are able to do that one. Follow like that, of teaching, so that we can get enough of money to do the work.
The work he's talking about is a 3-room CHIPS compound, wholly paid for, with 20,000 cedis they raised from their harvest and communal labor. Now, though, another hurdle to cross. The clinic is empty with no health workers and no drugs. Loso Rita has lost 2 pregnancies while crossing the Afram River to deliver in Etibie. She's pregnant again. Now, with this structure here, she hopes she won't be bearing another baby.
I've been traveling to Atibie, but we need a nurse here to be helping us since we have our own clinic now. It will help everybody, and then we can deliver safely.
There are about 10 villages on this side of the Afram River, with a total resident population of about 5,000, most without a clinic. They hope that government would meet them halfway to at least send someone to man the clinic they put up with their own money. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Hill Haji.
Now, one other story, the National Disaster Management Organization is investigating the collapse of a canopy at the Kumasi City Mall in the Ashanti regional capital. There were no casualties in the incident, which occurred at 7:30 Tuesday morning, 2 clear hours before the shops were due to open. The incident, which forced the closure of the facility for a while, comes a little after a month after a similar caving in the relatively much older Accra Mall. Nana Sensomesa reports that mall was eventually opened for business.
The facility was temporarily closed as workers cleared the mess, with NADMO and other agencies commencing investigations. The mall was back for brisk business by about 10:30 a.m. Some patrons of the mall shared their sentiments over the incident.
Well, I'm not so frightened. At least the right thing should be done. It should ensure that the place is safe once it's a season, an occasion that a lot of people come around. So they should ensure that such things don't happen, especially at public places. Because if it happened in Accra, it's in Kumasi, who knows where, maybe Marina Mall, wherever. So that can also scare people away from the mall premises.
It could be constructional problem. It happens. Construction, they can have problems in it, but still I feel safe to come once what I'm looking for is only found here. Yeah.
Manager for Kumasi City Mall, John Badubonsu, assures the public of safety pending arrival of engineers from South Africa to assess and rectify the situation.
There's speculation that the weather had a role to play, which we cannot confirm or deny until we have experts give an advice. Say, What we can say is the place is safe. We've put in measures and we'll continue to give it all the necessary help to make sure the mall stands and nothing like this happen again. So it's a safety issue. So the team, contractors, experienced hands who are vexed in this sort of area are those conducting the investigation to see if there's any cause for alarm.
Nana Asensumensa reporting.
Right, and joining us on phone right now is a regional NADMO coordinator, Kwabena Sentre. Thank you for making time to speak with us. Now, you talk about investigating this incident, but before then, tell us exactly what you know happened. Hello, Mr. Sentre. Hello, Mr. Kwabena Sentre. If you're on the line, I would want to know what you've been able to establish so far as regarding the incident at the Kumasi City Mall.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Sentre.
Yeah.
All right, so what can you tell us about this incident at the Kumasi City Mall?
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. I'm just right there, and business going on, and everybody is going around. It's normal. Nothing happened.
I'm asking the incident which happened this morning, what do you know about it?
What do I know?
Yes.
Because I don't live there.
All right, but you're supposed to be investigating, and I'm sure you've been to the scene. So what do you know happened?
There was a slided route that fell on the ground. And it wasn't the actual route, it was a killing. And I organized my men, including the security and the staff of the cleaners of the place. And we were able to organize ourselves and then pack them out and then fix the place.
All right, so we're learning that you're investigating. What exactly are you investigating?
So we normally have to investigate. Even if there's even if a human being falls down, it should be an investigation. So it's a normal thing.
Now, this incident comes about 2 months ago after the incident which happened at the Accra Mall. Now, are they related in any way, or are you looking into a connection between the two activities?
Please, can you speak a little?
I'm saying that there was an earlier incident which happened in October. I'm asking if they're related, also at the Accra Mall this time.
No. There are different.
Come again, sir?
No, because I wasn't in Accra myself, but mine is different. But this is not a collapse of the building. This is an ordinary ceiling that came down.
All right, thank you very much, Regional NADMO Coordinator. That was Regional NADMO Coordinator Kwabena Sentre giving us an update on the situation there in Kumasi. We're taking a break here on JoyNews Prime. Do stay tuned. We have business news coming up, and then later on in the bulletin, JoyNews has tracked down the property where 4 British girls on a school trip to Ghana are said to have been sexually assaulted at gunpoint. Do stay tuned. We'll be back with more. The minority in Parliament is described as insignificant. Government savings on the new Ameri deal currently before the House for approval. Energy Minister John Peter Amewu laid the new agreement before the House on Thursday after withdrawing the old one that cost the former Minister Boakye Ejaku his job. Government says the new deal is saving the country $51 million, but minority spokesperson on energy Adams Muto Akilu is not convinced.
There are some fundamental issues that go around propagating that, or they've saved $51 million. We want to disintegrate it much more. Because the main cause of the Ameri agreement was the cost of the equipment, which was $510 million, of which this government said it should have been 360. The first question is that, what has been the reduction in respect to the cost of the equipment? It's very important. The reduction is $9.8 million.
Less than 10 million?
Less than $10 million.
And another 51 they are.
No.
Is that your point?
The cost of the equipment, that's why I said let's disintegrate it. Because they are confusing Ghanaians by saying that, oh, $51 million, and therefore people think that the cost of the equipment, which Ameri is much concerned about, is the $510 million. What is the true reduction in respect to the $510 million? It's 9.8.
So the 51 million coming from?
I'm coming. The cost of the equipment now is $500.2 million. Far insignificant in respect to the 360 million they said it should cost, and that President Mama has taken the $150 million. Irrespective, they have not been able to reduce it, and that is a concern to Ameri. Two, we are looking at variable cost, and we all know variable cost means it's normally not combined with the cost. We can decide that we don't need a fixed OAM, that is or variable OAM, that is variable operating and maintenance. That one is left to us. It doesn't affect Ameri. So if the government therefore varies, say, oh, the variable cost should be scrapped, and it is scrapped, then you now come and tell us and portray it as if it's the cost of the equipment that is
but
reduced.
It still amounts to a saving.
That is what we have said. It amounts to a saving, but not what on the basis on which they came and claimed that $150 million has been stolen.
So for you, this is nothing. Government has not really done
it is just a haircut in contracting. That as a new government, when you enter into you review a clause, the company willingness to continue doing contract with you will give you something we call a haircut.
Right up next, we bring you showbiz. Now, JoyNews has tracked down the property where it was widely reported in the UK media that 4 British girls were sexually assaulted at gunpoint on Saturday. The police administration has so far been very economical with details of the attack, even though it says investigations are ongoing. When JoyNews visited the house where the incident is said to have occurred, one of the occupants said there were 3 armed men involved in the attack. Masula Gbagba was at the house at Oshie in the Greater Accra region and filed the following report.
Oh, that is a building where the unfortunate incident happened. Authorities working on this case are quite tight-lipped on it. Earlier, we were at the Kokrobite police station where we're told that the commander there has actually been summoned to the police headquarters where the case is currently being handled. Police officers there would not speak to the issue. Earlier, we met some crime investigators here. They would also not give us any details about the case. They directed us to the police headquarters for any details, on the subject. Earlier, we were in the house where we met some occupants, and they told us that they were attacked by 3 people, 3 armed men, they say. When we asked them whether 4 of the girls were sexually assaulted, as widely reported, they said that they are unable to give us a response on that particular question. So they didn't confirm or deny if 4 of the girls were sexually assaulted. They told us that monies and electronic gadgets belonging to some of the other volunteers were taken away by the armed men. Just some minutes ago, we saw a police vehicle moving to the house where the incident happened. We understand investigation is still continuing to unravel the mystery and also how the armed men were able to get access to the house. Outside the house also, it looks a bit, quiet. It's a lone stretch leading to the house with some thick bush, with some uncompleted buildings on the sides. The walls are quite, tall, but without barbed wires. It's quite surprising how the armed men were able to get access to the house.
Now, the family of a 15-year-old Yemeni girl who was allegedly defiled by a 60-year-old grandfather is accusing the Ghana Police Service of refusing to prosecute the suspect. The young girl was allegedly defiled a year ago on her way to school. According to the family, although it has presented evidence to support its claims against the alleged perpetrator and made several appeals to the police, the suspect is walking free. Efwa Evans Chinri has more.
The girl, who we will call Jabril, was only 14 years old when she was allegedly defiled. According to her parents, her grandfather Umar Mahmoud Mohammed picked her up for school, drugged her, and had forced sex with her at an unknown location. They claim he dumped her by the roadside where she was found and rescued by passers-by. The suspect was arrested by the Kwabenya police where the matter was reported. The case was subsequently transferred to the Medina police station, but the family says the suspect was released even after medical reports proved that the girl had been defiled. At a news conference in Accra, lawyer for the victim, Justice Abdullahi, said they are disappointed with the police handling of the case. He claims the suspect has even threatened to kill family members if they pursue the matter.
From December 2017, we have been pursuing justice. Until date, justice seems to be quite elusive. No single administration of the police or any of our prosecutorial agencies have taken any step to ensure that this matter is prosecuted. Indeed, together with the family, we have spearheaded the search for evidence. And we provided all the evidence that is needed, required, to ensure a successful prosecution. Because, believe in me, if you go to the police, they will tell you that until you have a prima facie case, they are not prosecuting. And of course, as a lawyer, that is what I do for a living. I ensure that these were provided. In addition to the police report, all the policemen who were initially part of this investigation have volunteered to provide any assistance that the prosecutorial teams would need. We have provided every single document. I have personally gone to the police headquarters for more than 100 times in my life. In fact, the highest I have ever done in my entire life within this short period.
Meanwhile, the victim who was sent to Yemen to be married off is now divorced and battling suicidal thoughts. According to the family, her ex-husband divorced her after he discovered she had been defiled. She's now living in Yemen with her friends.
Now, finally, 4 victims of the Fuasi shooting incident will be giving a state burial on Thursday, December 13. Their families vowed never to bury their dead if government fails to complete investigations that led to the death of their loved ones. On February 7, 2018, the 4 males were killed when the police opened fire on a group of residents protesting the relocation of the district capital from Fuasi to Chedie. The local council of churches announced that military personnel will take charge of the joint burial service. Oheming Teria has more.
Bodies of 24-year-old Seth Danso, Prince Boatin, age 29, Kojo Ofori, 47, and Douglas Ade, 35, have since remained in the morgue. Their relatives agreed to a joint burial proposed by the implementation committee, with government paying for the cost of the rites, in addition to compensation to bereaved families. Chairman of the local council of churches, Reverend Joe Apreku, says military personnel will be deployed to provide security at the ceremony.
Though we have not been given the full details of the inquiries that they made, but they know that these boys were not criminals. They were not making any right, but it just happened. It just happened. So the state has taken up this so that they will bury them in a way that will cool the people down, so that there shall be no any other uproar as it came last time.
Is it a way to say that they will be giving state burial?
It is not quite full state burial, but it is such, because if you are saying that the military are coming to take up the burial, that means it is somehow in a form of state burial.
Meanwhile, the implementation committee has scheduled a final meeting with bereaved families on Wednesday before burial the next day. From Fuasi, for JoyNews, Oheming Teria reports.
Access to potable water is everyone's right and a key demand of the strategic development goals. But it appears this reality is lost on a lot of Ghanaians. In the central region town of Kwamang, number 1 in the Utu Senya district, residents are drinking water polluted by liquid from piggery. The worst of the story is that the same water is what food vendors use to cook for school pupils in the town. My colleague Kwesi Parker has been following this story for the JoyNews Safe Water Project.
It's raining hard at Command Number 1, and the runoff water is red and dirty. The entire community is being washed towards one source, a stream running through the village. When the rain subsides, the stream still has a number of sources constantly directing toxin into it. There is a dark liquid waste from a piggery sited close to the stream that's given off an offensive stench, and bathrooms out of which wastewater flows into the community's only water source on a daily basis. But this is the water everyone here drinks. It's untreated, dirty, repository of a community's waste. It's obvious everyone at Command Number 1, including these innocent school children, is at risk of contracting a waterborne disease. Ama Jambia is a food vendor. She cooks and sells rice to school people with the same water. She wants the assembly to save the community from a potential catastrophe.
I cook and sell rice to school people. We have been drinking this water for a very long time. There is no source of potable water, so we have no choice. I will plead with government to sink a borehole for us or provide us with any source of potable water to save our lives.
Area Council Chair Ni Aikotego says there has been a series of promises from those at the helm of affairs, but the promises are yet to be fulfilled.
It is bad for the people of the community to drink such water, but we don't have any source of water. That's why the people take that water. They themselves know the situation we are facing, and they are keeping on promising us, but we are waiting for them, because since they are always they promise us, we are still waiting for the promise to be fulfilled.
Command Number 1 is a community that has no choice but to drink water from its waste, but no one deserves that. Kwesi Parker Wilson for JoyNews.
Now, Sada branded tricycles were meant for poverty alleviation, which have been rusting away in the open compound of the Public Works Department at Bolgatanga, could be worked on and sold to individuals at moderate prices. This is according to a 5-member ad hoc committee of the Northern Development Authority, which has been on a working visit in the Upper East region. The committee also warns individuals who procured the tricycles on hire purchase basis under the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, Sada, have until this end of December to complete payment or face possible prosecution. Here's a report by Upper East correspondent Albert Sori.
The Sada branded tricycles, numbering at least 38, have been left here in the open compound of the Public Works Department in Bolgatanga since the year 2016. According to Chairman of the Northern Development Authority's Ad Hoc Committee, Boniface Gambila, the tricycles were meant to be given to farmers at subsidized cost as part of a poverty alleviation strategy under the NDC government's Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, Sada. However, not all the tricycles were distributed before the 2016 election, which led to a change in government.
The issue is there was a good program, a laudable program, to help farmers under a PPP arrangement. So if the PPP arrangement didn't go well, it's not about the chief executive or the board. It has happened. That is how we are here as a board. Maybe other things will happen before you know, then you can then move in. It wasn't a deliberate thing to form the PPP, bring the things and throw away. It wasn't deliberate.
He said over 2,000 of the tricycles were procured by individuals, either by direct purchase or on hire purchase basis, across the Northern, Upper East and Upper West regions. But up to now, many of the people who took the tricycles have not fully paid for them.
So we do not want these things wasted. People have bought them, and we want to make sure they come and pay. If they don't pay, the police, the military, the law courts will go after them. But as a customer and client business relationship, we are going to contact them directly on their lines, contact them through the radio or the media as a whole, to tell them to come and pay for what they procured, either on the direct purchase or under hire purchase.
Under this MPP government, Sada has been rechristened the Northern Development Authority, NDA. Mr. Gambila indicated that the ad hoc committee of the NDA, which he chairs, is assessing the current situation of the authority since there has been a transition of government. He added that once the assessments are concluded, the NDA will roll out its new plans and will consider repairing these tricycles and selling them at moderate prices to interested persons.
So far, we have about 2,100 tricycles left to be distributed, and that is big money. The other thing the other challenge we thinking we are going to face is that when these things were procured, we realized they were overpriced as compared with the open market. So the chaps rushed to buy them, food soldiers, NTC food soldiers. They thought it was a favor. But underground, the project known as the PPP, called Unique Savannah, actually overpriced them.
For JoyNews, Albert Sori, reporting from Bolgatanga.
But in the headlines, Parliament finally approves controversial medical drones contract after it was put to a vote on the floor of the House. The minority, however, insists it is a bad deal. The Ghana Medical Association wants the contract suspended because it remains unconvinced that it will achieve the intended results. The National Disaster Management Organization has ordered investigations into the ceiling collapse at the Kumasi City Mall a little over a month or 2 months after a similar incident at the Accra Mall.